Thanks, listeners. Time to find out about Elko City news here on Elko Live today, as we do on Tuesdays. This is the day we set aside to get updated. We're in between regular city council meetings. The next council meeting will be next Tuesday. That'll be on the 23rd. So here today we have Dale Johnson, our assistant city manager. Welcome to the program, the radio show, Dale. Great to see you.
Thank you. Thanks for having us here.
And you have brought with you today the utilities director, who holds your old position, right? Jim Kerr. Yes. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here today. Both gentlemen are going to bring us up to date. There's some really cool projects that are either nearing completion, some things that are going to bring a lot of growth and development to the city as a result of planning. We might pick up a couple things that were on the agenda. And just some reminders, to let people know that there are also some deadlines fast approaching. But with the dream team here today, we decided that we would definitely get an update on the installation of water meters in the city. So everybody, keep listening closely. And it may not seem like the most enthralling conversation, but there are a lot of questions, right, Dale, about water meter installation?
There's lots of questions being proposed because of the new installation of meters and then how the sewer rate affects those meters, that metered rate.
So this was a project that began when you were our utilities director and something that took years of planning for, right?
Yeah, it was a long time in the making. We actually started putting meters in 2006. That's when City Council first said the city would go metered on all new residential and commercial customers. But since then, it was only those new installations that were metered. Now we're catching up and going and getting anybody that's on flat rate, basically because of water conservation, and Division of Water Resources is really wanting all communities to be metered so they can account for the water that they're pumping.
And we're in the Humboldt River Basin, which is a very, let's just say it's a watershed that is under the microscope anyhow because of the lawsuit that's going on with the water users down in the Lovelock area and the state. So because of that, they really needed us to go metered and strongly encouraged it.
Mm-hmm. So it is a work in progress. And for anyone who may be new to the community or just wasn't aware, you see a water tank on the hill and think, well, there's where the water comes from. But it's actually pumped because these are aquifer or underground supplies, right, Jim?
Yes. Yep. We have 17 different wells in City of Elko. And just to tell you how much water we use in the summertime, just about all 17 run 24 hours a day, and in the wintertime we run 3. So that's the difference in how much water is actually used in the wintertime and the summertime. Yeah,
if you do see Elko from the air, which we have much more opportunity to do so with the popularity of drones, it's a very green community. We have some nice green spaces, a lot of trees. Some of them have been, with us for quite a few decades. And so it's important to conserve. And then maybe explaining, without getting into the weeds about the lawsuit, downriver users, are they talking about discharge that goes into the Humboldt River or any way to sort of explain that?
Well, so both.
Okay.
They're talking about discharge going into the Humboldt River, and they're also blaming people that pump out of the aquifer. They're claiming that we are over pumping the aquifer. Not we, as in the city of Elko.
Sure.
But just the upstream users are over pumping the aquifer, which then steals the water out of the river because the river doesn't have any water. It can't hold the water, so it goes back into the aquifer. Let's just leave it there because it gets even deeper, right? We could talk a whole show about just that.
Mm-hmm,
so.
Mm-hmm. But again, the important thing is that water is a finite resource, and we have to be accountable for it.
Mm-hmm.
It is, yeah, and we all need water to survive. So,
So it's definitely a topic. So now, and I brought with me my city water bill, which I'm not going to give away. You people know where I live if you care to know, but I live in the Tree Streets, and so I'm still on a flat rate, and we can talk about that too because it's coming. Everybody is going to have metered water, and I have a pit, and so I'm looking forward to the meter too. But right now, so when I get my water bill, they looked at each other like, "Wow, she's looking forward to getting a water meter." So right now, the rate is a flat rate. Water costs $45.39 a month for however little or however much water I use. And then there's something below that that says sewer, and it's at $51.55. And then all of this comes with, there's a storm water fee of $1. There is a street light fee of $2.20. And then I have zero previous balance, I'm proud to say. So it all totals up to $100.14. So here's the rub, is people say, well, we were all talking about saving money in water, discovering leaks, conservation of water, but sewer, people noticed an increase in their sewer rate, right, Dale?
Yeah, they have, and it's because the sewer rate's based on the metered rate, but it's reduced at a 53%. So you're actually paying 47% of your metered rate for sewer.
Even if the majority of your water is irrigation. I don't know if either of you want to talk about that.
I can touch on that. So in the summertime, your irrigation is going to run your sewer rate up, even though you're not actually putting that water into the sewer. But in the wintertime, you're going to get still get that 53% discount. So your wintertime sewer bill is going to be lower than what you would normally pay in the wintertime. So your bills in the wintertime will be drastically lower than what your bill is there right now, just for your normal use. So if you look at your bill over a 12-month period, it should pretty much average out if you're a standard water user. If you're a water abuser, you may have to use and pay more if you continue to use the water that you use. But people will have to pay for every 1,000 gallons that they use, because we don't bill per gallon, we bill per 1,000 gallons. So, and the rate is actually $1.33 per 1,000 gallons. So
that's a lot of showers.
This bottle of water here costs you more than that.
Wow, it's true. And it's one of the many bottled waters. So, yeah. Okay, Jim, good perspective on that. Jim Kerr is our utilities director for the city of Elko. So hopefully folks are getting adjusted to that. This will be the first full winter, right, Dale, that we'll have to be able to make comparisons to?
Yeah, it will. And not everybody's metered yet.
Right.
So there's just a small portion still that's metered.
Yeah.
And most of the city is not. And we've also heard that, well, why should I pay the metered rate if people across town aren't? But they will be metered, and they are paying the flat rate.
Yeah, I'm subsidizing other folks. It's
going to be in
part of it.
comparison with the metered rate.
Sure. So like I said, I'm looking forward to savings, I'm thinking. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people probably will save with the metered rate.
Very cool.
Because right now you're paying on no matter what size lot you have, right? So there's lots in town that are technically 4 lots put together that are one big, huge lot with a very large house and lots of grass. People in the tree streets don't have those size lots, right? They have very small lots with houses pretty close together. They'll use less water outside in the summertime. They actually should see a savings in the summertime rather than having to pay more. So I think you're going to have, with anything, you're going to have people that are happy and people that aren't, and they're welcome to call me and talk to me if they're not happy or if they need questions. I will answer those questions.
Yeah, sometimes, Jim, it's indicative that there's a problem with plumbing, right? There could be an underground leak.
Well, typically it's a running toilet.
Oh, okay.
Running toilets will burn a lot of water, and people don't realize it, right? Because they don't see the water on the ground. It just goes down the sewer. So I encourage people to go through their houses prior to getting a meter and make sure they don't have any leaks. and there's a number of different ways you can do that. If they're really, really, really concerned, they can get a plumber to come over and check that for them, or in some cases we can do it, but we are pretty busy right now. So, but if they do have a concern of a water leak between our valve and their house, they probably need to give us a call and see if we can diagnose it for them.
And when the meter system's up and running, that's our new fixed base radio read system. We will be able to tell if your meter is constantly flowing water. So that will be a one telltale that we'll be able to tell the customer.
Oh, you'll flag it. Okay.
And it'll be flagged, and we'll be reaching out to those customers if they are running a lot of water.
Okay, and that sounds helpful. That's reasonable, right? Because you'd want to know, obviously. So, because running water can affect a lot of things in your home and your foundation and all that stuff. So I guess the last question I have, and hopefully we've covered the topic again. It's great to have both of you here again side by side. Is the timeline? I know city crews are doing the work and doing a good job of installing those meters, Jim. So any kind of a timeline?
Oh, well, we have installed just under 1,100 meters since March. That puts us just shy of 3,000 meters installed in the city. Currently we have all the, I'll call them easy meters, all the easy ones to get to on the west side of 5th Street and north of the freeway. Those are all been taken care of, and now we're getting the meters that we couldn't get, like that we have to dig up or replace pits or different things like that have caused us issues and set us back. And we're trying to get those commercial businesses also metered in that area. So, and then once we get that area completed and we feel like that's 100%, then we'll move on the other side of 5th Street and work that way towards the golf course. And then the tree streets will probably be last. But I will say this, if somebody is just dying for a meter, I mean, we can start installing meters anywhere in town if they need that. If they want that and they want to go meter, give me a call and we can set it up.
All right. Yeah. Especially if you've got the pit already, it makes it easier. Yep. Okay, good. Okay, good to know. So you're not jumping ahead of the line. You're so about 3,000 installed, and that means about how many to go? Because we do have commercial and residential. Several thousand.
About 5,000, I would guess.
To go. Okay.
To go.
That doesn't sound insurmountable, honestly, if you've already done 3. So, yeah.
Those are going to be the hard ones, though.
Oh, yeah.
They all have to have meter pits installed and stuff like that. So they're much more labor intensive. So it's going to take us longer.
Okay.
So that's why we're trying to get all the easy ones now.
And to be fair to city crews, will start running into situations, especially in older parts of the neighborhoods where, things are older and there might be apartments or mother-in-law dwellings or all kinds of different scenarios.
We are going to encounter where there may be multiple residents on one service that will have to be split, and especially if they've been sold separately. And currently they all pay one water bill or whatever, and so those will have to be separated. There are also some situations where people have irrigation water, and those will also have to be metered. So there are situations where somebody may own a large lot and they have an irrigation system and a domestic system, and both of those will have to be.
You're okay.
Both of those will have to be metered so we can track how much water we're using.
All right.
Anything you want to add to that, Dale?
Not a whole lot. Just you can also combine those on your property, so you could tie your irrigation system into your potable water meter and just have one bill. We're still trying to figure out if people keep their irrigation meters, how we're going to bill that, because we know that's strictly for irrigation, and we know it's not going back to the sewer. So
Okay,
there
so
may have to be some code revisions and things like that. To
and
deal
that
with
comes
those
before the council,
circumstances.
right?
That's correct.
Okay, so that's not going to be any employees deciding that, so don't get too testy. We'll wait till it comes before the council, right?
right.
Yes.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, they'll take our recommendations and our consultant as well into those decisions. But yeah, council will have the final say on those.
Our guest today from the city of Elko, Dale Johnson, is our assistant city manager, and Jim Kerr is the utilities director. And we just covered a lot of water and sewer territory again, but hopefully people who have a lot of questions about this will find it helpful, and there's still much more work to be done. And so we'll keep talking about it. But thank you both. Appreciate that. Yeah. So now we want to also get an update from you, Dale, on the Downtown Redevelopment Agency's sidewalk restoration and all. That's okay. My life is ruled by alarms too, so no worries.
This is all phone calls.
You've got, okay. I think maybe he's the first person. Oh, no, do you have one phone or is that two phones?
Two.
Okay. Oh, and a handyman. So, okay, and he has to turn his phone off and on with a with a tool. That's awesome. Oh, okay. Well, moving on, we're going to talk about our sidewalk installation. And Dale, what can you tell us about that in downtown Elko? How's that looking? And thank you, Jim. No worries. So appreciate it.
So on Railroad Street, the concrete's pretty much complete. I drove by earlier. They got the tree grates poured in and things like that. There was one tree well that's still not done that they're still working on. But when you move over to the commercial side between 4th and 5th, they're putting concrete in and things like that currently. There's still a lot of asphalt work to do on both those streets. That'll be done after the concrete's complete. They've moved down to commercial from 5th to 6th. They're removing all the concrete there. Went by there earlier this afternoon, and they've got quite a bit of that removed. They're doing water hot taps and running water services, and they'll be installing meter pits on that block as well. So that's the big things. And the goal is to try to get asphalt put back before the plant closes and make sure the roads are buttoned up before winter. So it's an ongoing process, and it's kind of slow right now. They can only get 2 concrete trucks a day because there's other construction going on that's requiring concrete throughout the city and out in Spring Creek. So
Are you saying that someone could maybe make some money if they started another plant? So, yeah.
well, there's always that.
There's always a possibility. And that's what we also want to talk about, is that the city's been planning. Now you're getting near the end of, if you have not allocated all the American Rescue Plan Act money, and Exit 298 is an example of that, right?
Well, Exit 298 is actually being funded by the sewer fund, not ARPA funds.
Oh, great. Okay, even better. Yeah.
City project.
And that one's, is it all done?
No.
Okay.
We're in construction.
Okay. And you need concrete too? And
Not as much out there. Most of that has been precast.
Okay,
good. But they're in the middle of setting and finishing up the dry pit and the wet well, and setting all the pumps. And they're going to start laying pipe here maybe this week.
Is that the sewer lift that we're talking about? Okay, wanted to make sure we were talking about the right thing. Okay, because the water's all done, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the water projects are done. So.
Yeah.
And so what people need to understand is that Exit 298, I mean, that's a huge project in what it provides for the ability to grow in that region, right?
Yep.
Both residential and commercial?
Yep, it'll provide sewer to Komatsu, Golden Gate Truck Stop, Coca-Cola, the Coach Building, and then future Section 18, which will be a mix of commercial and residential developments.
And so, Dale and Jim, do we have people already ready to develop Section 18?
We're still working with BLM to acquire that section, so that is in process, but it's not finalized yet.
Okay.
But there is still some area out exit 298 that's ready for
It's available.
development
Yep.
and available. Yeah.
Okay. We have maybe a sports complex going in out there, or I should say motorsports complex, right? Yeah.
Yep. The motorsports complex is a county project. They do have their bike track out there and things like that.
And I think they have some potable water too, restrooms. Yeah.
They do have potable water. They are being served city water on that complex. The county gave the city water rights, and we extended a water line to them.
Nice. So we could be talking more about that too here in the near future. So, so anything else about Exit 298? I know it takes those folks off the septic system, which is huge for those businesses. Yeah.
Yeah, it just drives potential development out there that we didn't have before, that would now hopefully open up some area on that whole exit up there.
All right. That is Exit 298. So that's the west area of Elko. And again, it would eventually, I think, connect to Cattle Drive. Is that sort of the...
Yep.
Okay.
It connects into Cattle Drive, and Cattle Drive goes all the way up to Mountain City Highway.
Yep, north of Elko, and then connecting. If you've not driven up North 5th Street, Snowball area, I mean, it's amazing, the development that's happened up there, you know. So some cool little ranchitos, I guess. Yeah. So more to come on Exit 298. So I want to make sure we covered what you were hoping to. We do want to mention on this program, because you also supervise the Arts and Culture Advisory Board, right, Dale?
Yes, I do.
So you've got some announcements for us there.
Yeah, we have the Mayor Arts Awards nomination deadline out. It is due August 15th.
Oh,
No, that is
I think they
wrong.
extended September.
We extended that to the end of September.
Yeah, end of September. Okay, cool.
And those categories for nominations are individual artist, arts organization, arts education, and service to the arts. This can be an individual or an organization. And those nomination forms can be found on elkocity.com.
All right. So those are for folks that you want to see recognized for their contribution to the arts. They don't have to be from the city. They can be from anywhere, in the community, in the county, somebody that's contributed to, the quality of life through artistic expression and in those various categories. And then Arts and Council will meet on October 1st, which is Wednesday, and they've got two big projects and it would be nice if they heard from the public on these projects. These are permanent art installations that would go downtown Elko, and they have to choose just one, and it will be to commemorate the semi-quincentennial. So there are two that they're looking
Yeah,
at.
there's two sculptures that have been proposed. Well, there was 4 proposed. They've narrowed it down to 2, and they are asking for the community's input on the 2 projects. They are really nice looking art sculptures, so if there's any input that can be given, that would be great, and it would help the board make their decision.
That's great. And you can visit the City of Elko's website, just like I did, and then you find complete descriptions on there. You can learn more about the artists, what they're proposing, the cost of the project, because they both had the same budget, and then weigh in by the October 1st meeting whether or not you can go in person. I know the Arts and Culture Advisory Board is going to be looking at maybe some public input, because that's a hard decision to make.
Yeah, it is a hard decision, and they have 2 great artists that are providing these, so
And they're very different projects.
they are.
Yes.
They are.
So
Yep.
go with that, look it up online, pass it around, talk among your family and friends and coworkers, and see what you might, because this will be installed downtown Elko.
That's right, and they both fit the 250-year anniversary of our country, so it just depends on what people like to see.
That's right. So weigh in on that one. And again, we'll talk more about it. We'll have a couple of meetings, I think, or some Elko Live programs. So with that in mind, gentlemen, did we get to everything you were hoping to today? I want to make sure you brought a list.
Yeah, we do have another public works project over on Hot Springs Road. This is repaving the Union Pacific Railroad crossing there, going towards the water and sewer shop and the wastewater plant and our humanitarian camp. So there'll be some ongoing construction in that area, replacing all the asphalt in that
Okay.
crossing.
And that's happening this season?
It'll commence on the 22nd of September. UPRR is actually out there right now doing some preliminary work ahead of our project. So
Is it going to affect the train schedule? Do we know, Dale?
it shouldn't affect it too much. During certain days of construction, they probably will hold trains so they can get some of the work done, but shouldn't be too many delays.
All right. Well, we don't worry so much about shipping cattle out. It's all about people on the Amtrak. So that's
Yeah.
where the inconvenience comes from. So, okay.
And a couple other little quick updates. Our paving project's complete. Guys are out striping roads and things like that. But that project went well, and we got a lot of work done.
Yeah, that's nice. Those stretches that we're able to get the micro paving, it really extends the life of the street, and it's kind of fun to drive on that new fresh surface. So,
Yeah, it really preserves those roads, so it does a big benefit. So
anything else on your list?
that's all I have. I'm not sure if Jim has any more.
The only
No,
I
I'm
do
good.
well, I don't want to disappoint you, Jim, but I do know with winter arriving, and sometimes it comes in, it's a blast, but we should probably remind people to store their winter or their summer toys, right? Because doesn't it make it hard to get around on the streets with plows and different things?
It can, yeah. That's more Dale's.
Oh, that's more your, okay, you
Yeah.
guys are looking at each
Yep.
other. Yeah.
Yeah, if anytime we can get some of those larger pieces of equipment and travel trailers and things off the street, especially during the winter time, it helps with removing snow, and also gives us place to have a little snow storage if we need it.
So if you're lucky enough to own a cool, fun toy like an RV or a travel trailer, or even people have boats and things too. You just gotta, and we do have more places to store those things for the winter in Elko than we had before.
Yeah, and they're really not supposed to be left on the streets anyway, so
Yeah.
if we can get those off the streets, the better
All
off
right.
we are.
Sounds good. Well, until we meet again, until the city manager says it's your guys' turn, right? We appreciate your coming on the program today for the update.
Well, thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. So Jim Kerr is Utilities Director and Dale Johnson is our Assistant City Manager, both in for Elko Live today. Thank you, listeners, for joining us.